Well, hello and welcome. We're here to tune and nothing else. This is a little review video that's going to walk you through different ways of thinking about tuning the banjo. From the most basic, I know absolutely nothing about tuning, just give me the notes method, to one that's a little bit more systematic that we use throughout the Intro to Banjo class and pretty much all the banjo classes that I teach. First off, here's that I don't know anything about tuning, just give me the notes method. I'm going to give you the notes and use your intuitions, use your best judgment, and whatever musical intuitions you have, knowing that you crank these things, the tuners, in one way or another to get the notes to match the target you're aiming for. Use that knowledge to try to get yourself as close as you can to this. If we haven't done anything in class yet that describes a method for tuning, this is what you would want to use. Just these 5 tones. This is the 5th string. It's a G. Our 4th string is a D as in dog. Our 3rd string is another G. 2nd string is a B as in boy. And our 1st string is a D. Another D. As the sheet titled Banjo Tuning Tips and Tricks describes, there are particular artifacts, particular characteristics of the strings in this tuning that give you a hint of whether you're still in tune or not. We can use those to check ourselves now and then. They're very quick, very easy, and they don't require a lot of elaborate knowledge of the banjo. They just require familiarity with particular tunes and melodies we already know. If we know the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and most of us do, from Wizard of Oz, we're going to find the somewhere, the melody for somewhere of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, 2 pairs of strings on the banjo, the 2 that are an octave apart. The 3rd and the 1st string, the 5th string are 1 octave apart, so the somewhere can be found there. It's the somewhere and Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So if that sounds right, that means our 3rd and our 5th string are in tune with each other. Same is going to be true of the 4th and the 1st string in succession. An octave apart, so we have somewhere. Somewhere over the rainbow. We can use both of those to check our tuning on those pairs of strings. We also have an interval between the 4th string and the 3rd string of a musical 4th. And that just so happens to be the interval between the Here Comes the Bride of Wagner's Wedding March from Lohengrin. A melody we're all familiar with. That interval isn't there between the 3rd and 2nd string, unfortunately, but if we group the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string together and play them in succession in a particular way, we have another familiar melody. We have taps that is normally played on the bugle. It's 4, 3, and 2 in that order. Matches the type of overtones we get on the bugle that gives us that melody. And lastly, as this sheet points out, that should be a pleasant sound. This tuning is called G tuning. It's open G tuning, and it's precisely because it is a true G chord. It's something we don't really have on a guitar or a fiddle or a mandolin or just about any other string fretted instrument tuned to its normal concert pitch. The banjo, in several, not all of its tunings, but in several of its tunings, amounts to an open chord. That means we can just play it without fretting anything and hear a very familiar and a very pleasing major chord. We have all the elements we need for the G chord triad, G, B, and D, built right into the tuning. So that's the quickest and easiest way to check your tuning. Play your open chord, and if it sounds okay, well, you're doing all right. Lastly, what I'll do is go through that method described on the sheet that has the hieroglyphics of this method on the top, and then a matrix of chord charts on the bottom, the chords that we're drawing on for whatever class you're in G tuning. I'm going to detune the banjo just a little bit. Just so we have something to demonstrate here. Definitely unpleasant. That is not a G chord. We have a banjo that is out of tune. What we're going to do is use a method that will get us back in tune. That will get us back in tune by using other points on the banjo. Same notes found at different places, at fretted places. Each note of the open string on the each open string note on the banjo. Excuse me while I scratch the cat here. Each note of the open string on the banjo can be found on a fretted note on a different string, and we're going to use that fact to help us get into tune. And make sure I'm in frame here so you can see which tuner I'm changing up here. So we're going to start with, and this is just a kind of a blind assumption, we're going to assume that the fourth string is in tune. It may actually be in tune objectively with the rest of the world. It may match the right cycles per second, or it may not. It doesn't really matter for this purpose. This is a method of relative tuning. This is a method of getting the banjo in tune with itself. So I start with the assumption that the fourth string is in tune, and I proceed from there. I want to tune the third string next, so what I'm going to do is find the note I need for the third string on the fourth string at the 5th fret. That definitely doesn't match. Sounds like the third string is sharp. It's too high for the note I want. Here's my indicator note. That's the target I want to hit. And here's the one I'm changing. I need to bring that down. That little tip, a little hint on tuning the banjo or any stringed instrument. Our ear kind of naturally hears a note come into tune from below better than it hears it coming into tune from above. So if you can tell that the note you're aiming for, the string you're trying to tune, is sharp, your best bet is to drop it so you know it's definitely below the target. Now it's clearly below. What we'll do is bring that note up to match. Was here. We brought it up. Now we have our third string in tune. At least we can assume it's in tune because it's matching where it should on our fourth string, right there at the 5th fret. Next step is to tune the second string, and we do something very similar that we did for the third string. We're going to go to the third string, 4th fret. That note there is a B. That is the very B we need for the second string. So once again, we play that note, play the second string. Here we can hear that's flat. It's definitely flat. We need to bring that up. Second string up till it matches the third string at the 4th fret. Notice what I did in doing that. I let the note ring out. Whenever you're turning the banjo tuners, whenever you're cranking these, you want to hear what's changing. So let the notes ring out while you're turning the tuners. Never want to avoid muting the string and then changing it and then going back like that. Listen to the note change as you tune it. Let it ring out. That's true for all of these. So we have our 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string in tune. We need to tune the 1st string now, and by the same method we can find the note we need for the 1st string somewhere on the 2nd string. And as that chart indicates at the top of the page, it's the 3rd fret. 2nd string, 3rd fret gives us the D note that we need for the 1st string. Again on flat. Sounds like a match. So now my 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st are in tune. The only thing that remains is my 5th string. I'm going to double back to get the 5th string. The 1st string, 5th fret, the string I just tuned, 1st string, 5th fret gives me the note that I need, a G note that I need for the open 5th string. Flat, so I bring it up. has used points on the fingerboard on other strings to give me the notes I need for the open strings. In most cases it's the string right next to it, except for that last case where it's the first string giving me the note I need for the first. And now I have a banjo in tune. All that's left is to play it. And we'll do that in other videos.